Injury rates are up 500% these days.
Wow.
500%. And he attributes it to lack of structure, overthrowing, poor mechanics, and those three things encompassed. Not a good recipe.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to The Talk at Elevation. I'm your host, Michaela Nagel, and The Talk is where we have real conversations with people who are raising the standard in sports, leadership, and life. Every episode is about the lessons learned through adversity, the habits that create success, and the mindset it takes to keep growing. Today's guest is Brian Hull, author of The Pitcher's Handbook, a high school pitching coach, dean of students, and the 2020 SHAPE American National Physical Education Teacher of the Year. That's a lot of success right there. After seeing his own baseball career come to an end because of multiple shoulder injuries, Brian turned that experience into a mission, helping the next generation of athletes develop the right way through sound mechanics, healthy arm care, and long-term growth. Brian, welcome to The Talk.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, and you summed it up pretty well.
Perfect.
I'm all about arm health, and I was not lucky in my career, and I had to have 2 shoulder surgeries in a 5-month span.
Yeah.
And with that experience kind of came my passion for proper mechanics, proper structure,
Yes.
consistency, and proper work ethic behind the right things. And that's purposeful movement so that everybody can reach their potential further on in their careers.
That's awesome. When did you first fall in love with the game?
So I actually didn't love baseball until I was about 12.
Okay.
And I'm an identical twin.
Oh, really? That's
So
cool.
my brother and I, we were big soccer players, and we had a best friend growing up who was a stud athlete, but specifically in baseball. And he would always give us a hard time about playing soccer. So again, we were just all around baseball because of him, and he finally got us over. And since then, we were obsessed. And we would listen to every little thing he said, and he was a pitcher, all-state pitcher, and he also got hurt, but he probably could have gotten drafted if he didn't get hurt. And through his love of the game became our love of the game. And before we knew it, we were pitching in high school and then getting college scholarships to pitch at the next level. And poof, I had 2 shoulder surgeries. And I didn't know how bad off I was until my freshman year in college, and I was already done for in terms of shoulder health. And that was a moment where I'm like, this is not good, and there's got to be so many other kids out there that are just overthrowing constantly without even knowing what they're doing to their health.
Absolutely. Can you talk a little bit about that, like the injury prevention for shoulders specifically?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I threw the most innings in the entire state of Colorado, and I thought it was a good thing. But in hindsight, it was not a good thing. I was throwing. I wasn't doing proper arm care. I wasn't doing my bands. I wasn't doing my weights. I didn't have a specific arm care strength and conditioning program. I didn't rest. It was a domino effect in terms of what I wasn't doing. All I kept doing was throwing. And my body was just breaking down without me even knowing it.
Right.
So my freshman year, I was just throwing a bullpen and something didn't feel right. So I saw an athletic trainer and he's like, I don't even know how you're throwing right now. It's because I had such a significant muscle imbalance in my back, in my scapulas.
Oh, shit.
It's because it was overcompensating so bad because of how weak I was on the left side. I was a left-handed pitcher. So when I'm coaching my guys now, I'm all about proper routine, proper structure. Some days they don't throw at all. Some days they're just strengthening, and sometimes they roll their eyes at me. But there's a rhyme and a reason to everything we're doing.
Exactly.
And through my book, I've done so much research of what works, what doesn't work, and I've really gotten the love of reaching out to experts, and they've given me their why on why they teach it the way they do, and I've kind of assembled everybody's philosophies and expertise into what I like teaching my boys.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, can you give a little summary about your book here and what people can find?
Yeah, so I wanted the Pitcher's Handbook to be a one-stop shop. So it's pitching philosophies, it's the mental game, it's proper warm-up regimens, it's bullpen routines, it's pitch count stuff, it's off-season strength and conditioning, what to do, what not to do. And I wanted it more for not just players and coaches, but parents, because a lot of parents, even at age like 11, 12, 13, you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of times I've had a lot of parents come to me and say, I never even thought about this stuff. Right. But again, once you become educated and everything starts making sense, I just wanted everything at their disposal. And it's like, take what you want. Don't take what you don't want, but I just wanted everything in one place, and hopefully to help. Hopefully help all kids. Yes,
that's awesome. Can you take us back to your shoulder injuries? Going through that, what was your mental state like and your mindset, kind of knowing that you're never gonna play again?
It was rough. Yeah. I felt like a 5-year-old kid again. I remember. I was at practice after my freshman year. We were just doing like college off-season workouts, and I got the news that I needed my second surgery, and this one was getting 3 screws put in, and it was a minimum 1 year rehab. And I'll never forget when it was my first day of being able to throw again. I did not even know how to throw anymore, so I broke down right then and there. I literally had to teach myself, like, oh, my arm is now back here. I lost, like, all proprioception. I didn't know where my hand was, where my elbow was, and it was super painful. But that's when I knew I was never going to be the same again. I'm blessed to be able to still throw batting practice and play catch with my son. But I'm going back, like, even back in high school, like, this would have been preventable. And not to blame anybody, but again, I don't think people were so set on injury rates these days. Back then it was, hey, how do you feel today? Coach, I feel good. Okay, you're pitching again today. But now it's like the boys I coach, they say, Coach Hole, I'm good. I'm like, no, you're not throwing for another 2 days. I don't really care. Because if you do, this is what can happen. So it's just being really aware of injury rates, and I'm really close with, his name's Dr. Kevin McGovern. He's a pretty well-renowned physical therapist, and he always says injury rates are up 500% these days.
Wow.
500%. And he attributes it to lack of structure, overthrowing, poor mechanics, and those 3 things encompassed, not a good recipe. And one thing will happen, and it's not good.
Oh my gosh. Before we move on, let's talk about something every serious athlete needs to pay attention to: your digital footprint. Fan-Day Nation has just released a powerful new tool to help athletes make sure their social media profiles are fully optimized and recruit ready. Today, coaches aren't just evaluating game film, they're evaluating character, leadership, and maturity online. This resource gives you a step-by-step roadmap to clean up your profiles, highlight your strengths, and avoid common mistakes that can cost opportunities. If playing at the next level is your goal, don't leave your online presence to chance. Go check it out now at fandaynation.com. What should athletes look for to help with this injury prevention to stop this from keep on happening?
I'm a big fan of recording yourself throwing and then breaking the video down into slow-mo. So a lot of times, some of my guys I coach, they'll send me a video, and I'll really break it down because the pitching motion is so fast, it's impossible to see everything in live speed. But once you break it down, things become so prominent. You're like, hey, look what your arm's doing here. And then once they see it, and with the instruction, with the visual, they're really able to understand, like, oh, I've got to fix this. 1, it's like killing their velocity. 2, it's increasing their chances of injury. And once they get the why behind all these things, it's amazing how much more the guys buy in.
Yeah. What should coaches be looking out for on the other side of things?
The biggest thing is be aware of how much throwing your boys are doing.
Okay, yeah.
Like nowadays there's travel ball, there's competitive ball, there's summer ball, and then a boy may throw 5 innings with their travel team, and once they come to us, they don't say anything unless we ask for it. Really being aware of the workload that is on the kids. Again, they're going to say they're fine.
Right.
Internally, they're probably not fine. They may feel it, but again, 1 year of bad practice and overuse will lead to what I dealt with, and it's not good. It's injuries, and you overcompensate, which will increase another injury. And again, my biggest thing is be aware of workload, but also how are their mechanics?
Yes.
Pinpoint one thing. Once that's corrected, let's go to the next thing. But you've got to prioritize based on what's going to cause more injury versus maybe what's not making their control as good as it could be, or what's diminishing their velocity. But if it's something that's going to skyrocket their injury, we've got to fix it right away.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously you still took your love of baseball, now are coaching.
Yes.
What was that journey like? How'd you get into it? And how has your journey helped you become a better coach?
Yeah, like to answer the second question is, again, I know what it's like. I try to be as approachable as I can because even as a player, I remember having coaches that honestly I was intimidated by. So I always tell my boys, like, it's a partnership. You've got your team on the field, but then your other team is us and the coaches. And I want to be as approachable as I can because, again, I want them saying, hey, coach, my arm hurts. And then we can talk about it, kind of find out the why. But I wanted to get into coaching, as cliche as it sounds. I love helping people. And the more we can help today's youth, again, it's not just baseball. It's, can you be a good young man? Can you be a good son? Can you be a good father? And being as good of a role model as possible, that's honestly the real work. We always say, like, we don't really care how good of a baseball player you are. How good of a person are you? Are we going to have teachers emailing us? Is our principal going to be saying, you did this in the classroom today? Because that's the most important. And I always tell the kids, if you give me a C effort in the classroom, we're going to expect a C effort on the baseball field, which is, that's subpar.
Yeah.
So again, be a leader, not just on the field, but in the classroom, out in the community.
Yeah, it's a student athlete first. The student comes first. Yes.
Absolutely.
So arm health obviously has become one of the biggest conversations in baseball. What are a few habits besides looking at the video that athletes can help them in their future career?
Yeah, I would say, like, a lot of people may agree or disagree, but the weighted plyo balls are such a big trend right now. I'm not a fan of them, and I think a lot of times our youth will watch TV. Oh, someone in the bullpen is throwing weighted balls. They're not ready for them. So it's not so much the plyo balls are like bad. It's, are you physically ready and physically developed to handle that workload? So I honestly think it's being really in tune with, okay, what am I doing now? Can I look into it or like do my own research into why is this good or why is this bad? But also watch, everyone has a favorite player and a favorite pitcher. A lot of them, the guys, they love Paul Skeens. Well, look at what Paul Skeens does to get ready for a game, to get ready for a start. And I always share videos with them like, okay, if Paul Skeens isn't too good to do this, then neither are
then you can't either.
So it's like nothing is too basic. And your body can't ever be too ready to get ready for an outing where you're going to pitch. And a lot of times they may throw 20 throws. Hey, coach, I'm ready. No, you're not.
No.
Let's go through the routine. And again, I always reference it's section 4, like proper warm up, because there's a method to the madness on why you do this first and why this follows. And when they watch all the best players in the world, like Paul Skeens, they're going to see the proper order.
Yeah. And this is just going to help them so much in the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But obviously you mentioned earlier parents also, this is a big help to them. What should they look for habits that kids at home, maybe that they're doing that can help them on the field?
I would say the most ready piece of advice I have is every kid's going to want to throw. So it's a matter of, are they going a proper progression? Now, I don't expect it to be as formal as it is at like our high school practice,
Right.
but are they just picking up a ball, getting 90 feet away and already throwing? The body's like a vehicle. You've got to warm it up a little bit, get all of the muscle groups warmed up before you kind of start overloading your body. A lot of times, even when I coach my son's team, the boys pick up a ball, they're already 100 feet away. Like, what are we doing? And they're just throwing without a purpose.
Right.
Well, every time you pick up a ball, whether it's in the street, park, you've got to work on something. No matter if you're 5 feet away, 20 feet away, there's a purpose behind every throw. And every throw has a purpose.
Oh, there it is right there. Yep.
And whether we're working on like something mentally, whether it's mechanics, don't just pick up a ball and throw. We're throwing with the purpose. We are pitchers once we have a ball in our hand.
Yeah. We talked a lot about mechanics, but you just brought up the mental side of things. Can you dive a little deeper into that?
Yeah, so ideally we want our players, our youth, once they throw a pitch, if they make a bad pitch, they're able to self-correct.
Okay.
They can't really self-correct mentally unless they practice the way they're going to throw in a game. So practice makes permanent. So like my feedback to parents would be, even if they're playing with a friend, ask them like, hey, why did the ball go over there? Why was the ball in the dirt? Again, we want them to kind of start thinking about, oh, my arm was late. So once they're in a game, they can obviously fix it and self-coach themselves versus relying on a coach. Because a lot of times a coach may not even know what they're doing wrong, but with proper instruction and consistency at home during practice, ideally they're able to self-correct.
Yeah. What do you say to the people out there who don't see immediate results, especially athletes getting frustrated with their skills?
And that is so difficult because my son, he's only 9. He's one of those where it's a long game where maybe to get the smallest result, it may be 1-2 months long.
Right.
Muscle memory is so important, and you're not going to get muscle memory in 1 day or even a week. They say to fix a bad habit, it's 10,000 repetitions. So if you want quicker results, that means you've got to practice more on your own. Practice before bed. Go through the motion 50 times before going to bed. It's got to be ingrained into a daily practice. My son can now self-correct, but if he's listening, you've got to practice on your own without dad or a coach telling you like, hey, you did it again, your shoulder flew open. Work on it purposefully before bed or after you get home from school, something. But it's a big start slow to work fast.
Okay.
You are not going to see an immediate result in 1 day.
Yeah. I liked what you said earlier. Practice is permanent.
Yes.
Practice makes permanent. I like that saying. So as someone who has worked with countless athletes, what separates players who reach their full potential and those who fall short?
So a big one is kind of what I just spoke to is they're self-led. They don't need coaches to tell them, hey, when you get home, you need to do this, this, this. It's the ones where you walk out on the field without even being prompted. They already know what they're doing. They're self-sufficient. They're seeking feedback constantly. I think back to even some of the best guys I coached, and coaching them was honestly easy because they would figure stuff out on their own, and then I'm there just facilitating, managing what they're doing for the day. But without me telling them, hey, work on this, hey, coach, I just did it again, right? Like my arm is late. But that comes through practice. They've already done the prep work, so practice is for more like the maintaining. I always tell the boys, practice is like mandatory, but what should be mandatory is what you're doing outside of the baseball field, because you can't just get better with the 2 hours of practice that we must have each day.
Yeah.
You're honestly getting the consistency outside of the field, and it's more the application at practice. Mm-hmm. I'll give my boys like 3 or 4 practice drills, and I'm like, hey, before the time practice is over, I don't really care when you do it, but these must get done. Mm-hmm. You always know come game time who's taking it serious during practice and who's not.
Yep.
And they're like, Coach, what do you mean? If you did this purposefully, I would not be seeing these flaws right now. Mm-hmm. And they're like, how did you know I didn't do this stuff?
You're like, I can tell.
I can tell.
Yeah.
We're proud to celebrate women who lead on and off the court. Nico Stones welcomes new brand ambassador Sophie Ziddell, a standout basketball player at the University of Colorado. Her exclusive edits is all about confidence, strength, and the style that moves with you. Support women in sports and shop Sophie's limited collection now at nicostones.com.
How have you grown over as a coach over the years, and how have you progressed?
So early on, I was kind of more of like a disciplinarian. Mm-hmm. But even like during my teaching days, I don't think that works best. For some kids, it works really well. But in terms of like the general population of kids these days, you've got to be approachable, but they always want to know the why. So I've always been, if I'm putting together like a pitching plan for the day, I'm always anticipating the question why. And if a kid says, Coach, why are we doing this? I better have that answer, because if I'm stumbling through the answer, if I don't know, they're immediately going to just say, I'm not going to do it then. Yeah. So my coaching philosophy is more, what do they need now? But how can I phrase it to where it's really important to them? So I guess the word is more intentional. Where early on in my career, I would just be like, this is what I think we should do, so let's do it. I explain more of the why and how it's going to help them transfer into a game setting.
That's awesome. I really like that. That's awesome. So my last question for you is, when you're looking ahead, you're continuing to grow the Pitcher's Handbook while speaking at coaching clinics and creating educational resources. What excites you most about the future, and where do you hope your impact will lead?
Yeah, good question. What excites me the most is, again, it doesn't matter what families or players are using in terms of instruction, but I get really excited when injury rates, instead of that 5% increase, how can we diminish those? And I really, like, that's my end goal. I don't care if you're 9, if you're 18, if you're 15. We've got to be super transparent to athletes and families on why injury rates are so high, but how can we get to the point, and I'm hoping my book helps this, where, again, more of the self-sufficient athletes, more athletes that are proactive and, okay, what should I do today? I pitched yesterday. What's something I can do today that's healthy versus overthrowing? And just moving forward, more partnerships. I think the more we as a athletics community, baseball community can work as one, we all have the same goal, and it's, we want our kids to be successful. Yeah. So my hopes in writing this book is, again, getting my name out there, but facilitating more coaching conventions or establishing more friendships or camaraderie amongst the coaching community, because it's big, but it really isn't big. It's like we're all in the same family, and we all want the same thing. It's what's best for our kids.
Yeah, that's awesome. Where can people find the book?
Yeah, so this is actually on Amazon and Apple and Google now. Okay. So if you just Google the Pitcher's Handbook, it pops up quickly. But on Amazon is usually where I'm getting the most feedback. Okay. But it's usually the first thing that pops up on Amazon when you just type in the Pitcher's Handbook.
Awesome. Well, you guys go get this book if you're struggling with your pitch. Brian, thank you so much again for joining us on the talk, and we hope to have you back soon, and good luck with the book and your team and everything else.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next time on the talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.